Hi there. I just thought I'd share with you some ideas and thoughts I've had over the years when moving to a smaller kitchen and trying to maximise the space in that kitchen. So I'll just walk through the sort of ideas I've had that have helped to maximise the space. So basically it's what I think called a galley kitchen with wood walls, and what I've done variously over time to improve the efficiency of the kitchen is things like the stove. When I got a new stove, I just made sure that it got power outlets on the side, power sockets on the side. So when I'm using this work surface here, I've got ability to get to a power socket for power accessories. Similarly, with when I installed a range hood up there, again to maximise space, I've got one that's got a flap on here, and also got lights to go down there, and so I could watch TV while working in the kitchen. Installed a flat screen TV, and where the flat part of the range hood comes in useful is that's where I can keep them remote control. And the TV is connected via the wires to aerial outside the house. And you'll also notice with the stove perhaps that it's offset from the centre in the hole in the existing fittings, and the reason I did that is that this being my work surface, there's quite a bit of traffic between here and the work surface, and it did tend to fall down the crack in between. So I've tried to get this as far over as possible, there's a plate underneath to stop the thing from tipping forward, and then on the right hand side there's a larger gap, and the benefit of that larger gap is that I can get a vacuum cleaner hose down there, so it doesn't get all horrible gunk and stuff down there. Now the other bit is the walls, using the wall space. So I've got a spice rack which I'll put up there. So all the spices are then quite handy for when you're working on the stove, and they're all quite visible by name and easy to get to. Similarly, for wall mounting, I purchased a rack, and also got these spoons and things with the holes in them, so I can hang them from the rack. I don't have knives up there, so I found sometimes you put the knife on not proper, doesn't hold properly with the magnet and just falls to the floor, and your feet could be in danger. I also purchased a wall mounted dispenser, and this dispenser's got the kitchen roll, and it's also got the aluminium foil for the cutter, and the top's the cling film with cutter. Now the clever thing about this is obviously when you're trying to put cling film on something, you need either flat surface or both hands. So this actually comes off, and you just carry that over to where you've got the bowl, and then just obviously pull it out with one hand and cut with it, and put it on and then cut. So that's really handy to have that feature on it. That's made by Life Height, and it's on Amazon.com, Amazon.uk or wherever. Also, I've got hanging up there the fry pan. And the other thing which finds very hard to find a space is the splatter protector. So again, that quite nicely hangs up just behind the fry pan. And then over here on this side to the right, again I've got hanging up something I saw in the UK with stands to hang bananas. I couldn't find a stand to use, and then it occurred to me I could get one of these hooks. So basically bananas are just suspended from a hook. Similarly, if you buy vine tomatoes, which shouldn't go in the fridge, they'll just hang on to the hook. And behind that you also see a string of garlic. So that's again just hanging from a hook. And in fact, it was only after a while it occurred to me the thought of actually putting hooks on the bottom of the cupboard. So the hooks for the cups, and also I've used 2 hooks for bananas and tomatoes. Now with the cupboards there's also space that should be unusable right at the top. So up there I've put mostly light storage jars and vessels. Now this is a bit in New Zealand, which is earthquake country, so I don't really want anything heavy falling down on my head should there be an earthquake. So those are just plastic items that fall off. They're not going to damage me or the floor. And I do like my cup of coffee made fresh. And again, it's a matter of getting a small a coffee machine with a small footprint. So I just bought this one here. So that's quite handy. Doesn't take up much bench space. And then again, it's given me a flat surface on the top, and I can have my phone on there, cell phone on there, charging, using the fittings there. Now I put a multi-plug on because the socket down there is the only socket in the whole of the kitchen. So that's quite essential. Going back to the side again, to have sockets here. Now, with the matter of the space, there's space on here to put a food processor, but really not much food space for storage. So as a compromise, I've got one of these whiz blender things, which does the job okay for the amount of times that I use a blender type function. And obviously that will just easily plug into the stove. So I've got power there. Another space saving device I bought was a set of scales. And again, these take up quite a lot of room, but I've got the flat ones here, a flat scale. And that's quite handy. It's being electronic. It's also got a tier system on it, so I can just put a cap on there if I want to measure something, and I'll switch it on. You may be able to see 0, so I don't have to have a bowl or anything with it. And that just lives on the hook there. And as you know, I've just put a nail in the wall. And if you've got one of these wooden type houses, to save having large marks in the wall if you change your mind, I try and put the screws into the gaps there. Now they don't show up so much if you take the screw out again. What else have I done? Oh, okay, another thing I did was in the drawers. Here's what the drawer usually looks like. There's sort of a bit of a mess of stuff in quotes. I just bought one of these separator things, and I think because the separator or the tray, plastic tray thing is metric, and I think the drawer itself is feet and inches, didn't fit too well, so I've just put a bit of blue tack there to hold it in place, which that was done about 6 years ago, so keeps it steady. That's done the biz. What else have I done? Oh, another nice little feature is I've got got over here sort of books of recipes and stuff like that. And when I'm cooking, I can just take the recipe I'm interested in, and I just attach it to the side of the range hood with a, I use one of those fridge magnets there. So I've then got the recipe to hand while I'm working at the preparation area. So that just about covers what I've done over the past few years. It's made the kitchen a lot more usable, and I haven't had to spend gazillions of dollars on doing a kitchen refit. So just to refresh, there was the hooks for the cups, and hanging bananas, hanging tomatoes, the garlic, spoon hangers, roll dispenser, flat screen TV. I haven't looked at the fridge yet. On the fridge, I made sure I got well, I say a short one, reasonably short one, so I could then put the microwave on top. So the microwave's right there. Now, if you're not as tall as 6 foot, that may be a bit too high for some folk, but it works well for me, and it means I don't have all the bench space taken up with the microwave. And similarly, so I don't have to bend over all the time putting rubbish away, I just use a supermarket plastic bag hung on a hook, and that's where the rubbish goes. And end of every day or every couple of days, just take that out and put it aside for the rubbish man. And what else have we got? So drawer tidy, spice rack, stove outlets, and that just about covers it. So you may have got some ideas there if you're like me, downsized, and say taken quite a while to work out how to maximise the space in the kitchen. Cheers.